If you're watching this video, it's a safe bet that you struggle with putting, at least some of the time, if not all of the time. Well, in this video, we're going to help you figure out why you miss, when you miss, help you develop a system to know exactly what you need to work on, and ultimately how to fix it so that you make more putts. Let's get started. So before we can talk about the reason you stink at putting and how to fix it, we've got to establish a couple of facts. Fact number one, putting is hard. The hole a lot of times is far away and it's relatively small, and there are bumps and imperfections and green in the grass or not green in the greens, and sometimes the greens are wet, some courses are faster or slower, and some days it's windy and that affects your putts when it's super windy. All kinds of things make it difficult. Putting is hard. Think about it this way. If you're an absolutely great putter and you never three putt again the rest of your life, and you get up and down 6 times a round to average 30 putts a round, that'd be a pretty good putter. But do you know what? You'd still be only making 2/3 of your putts. You'd be missing 1/3 of the time. If you were Tiger Woods, he averaged 28.4 putts per round over the course of his career, and yet arguably one of the best clutch putters maybe of all time. He still only made a little over 60% of his putts, which means you're missing virtually 1/3 of the time. I don't know about you, but when I was in school, 60% was a D grade, and that's not very good. So fact number one, putting is hard. Fact number two, because putting is hard, you're going to miss a lot of putts. And here's why you stink at putting. When you miss, you don't know why the ball didn't go in the hole. And so you get frustrated and you start trying to tweak things. Oh, I need to change my grip style to a claw grip, or left hand low, or I need to do this, or I need to do that, or I need to change my stroke, or, you know, this putter is a piece of junk, I got to get a new putter. And unless you have one of those putters that claims that they have the magic grooves that steer the ball into the hole, or you just have a pure junk putter, it's not the tool. This is simply a tool that helps you roll a ball on a line at a speed. Well, if it's not all of that, let's talk about why you miss when you miss, because understanding that is the key to what I'm going to give you at the end of this video, how to fix it. So why you miss when you miss. One of the reasons that you miss is you're bad at green reading. You miss the green read. You have a putt that breaks from your right to left, and you underread that putt. You don't give it enough break, and you consistently start it on a line that you intended, and you make a good stroke, and the ball goes where you aimed, but you didn't aim it far enough outside the hole, so it misses. What happens then in your subconscious is you start thinking, because your brain knows the goal is to get it in the hole, and so your brain starts pushing it out. And now you've developed a push stroke because you have a stroke bias based on your green reading bias, and you don't even realize that you're making a bad stroke. You've accidentally conditioned yourself from a pretty decent stroke that rolls the ball straight to a bad stroke. Worse than that, I see a lot of people who cannot aim the putter where they start. I've been doing this thing with my friends at my house on my indoor putting green, where I put down a laser at the hole and point it back to the putter, and I say, let me know when you're lined up and pointed exactly at the hole. And they'll tell me they are. I put the backside of a CD disc down and reflect the laser back, and it amazes me. They're aimed over here or over here, not aimed at the hole. So you don't align properly, and you develop a stroke bias because of that. And you keep trying to change all of these things, and you're frustrated, you're missing putts, and you're doing things and trying to make corrections that don't help you make the putts, and it just develops inconsistency and causes problems, and you practice and practice and you still never get better because you don't know why you miss when you miss. Well, let's talk about how to fix that. Only 3 reasons you miss. One is you don't read the green properly, so you're not aimed where you think you aimed, and you're not on the right starting line. Well, we'll fix that with green reading. A lot of videos on this channel on green reading. I'm a certified coach for the Tour Read green reading program. That's the app, or not only the app, but the method that the pros use on the course. More and more, it's becoming the most popular because it's the most effective. Virtually every PGA caddy has that system and uses that. We can help you with green reading. So you miss because you don't read the green and start the putt on the right line. Second reason you miss is a stroke problem. You're not set up, aligned, and aimed where you think you are, or you make a bad stroke. You push it or pull it. Third reason that you would miss the putt is you hit it the wrong speed. It's on the right line, but at the wrong speed. Here's what I want you to do for every round that you have going forward. I want you, after every putt, to ask yourself, why did that not go in? Did I hit it at the target that I started at? And that means for every putt, you're going to read the green, pick a target, X or Y, however many inches, right or left of the hole, and then back up and look at that target, line your ball up with that target, narrow it down to an intermediate target about this far in front of your ball, and ask yourself, did I roll my putt over that intermediate target? If you did, then you started the putt on line. If it didn't go in, then you ask yourself, well, did I hit it at the right speed? And by the way, perfect speed is a speed that takes the ball when it doesn't go in 12 to 18 inches past the hole. If it doesn't get to the hole or it barely gets to the edge of the hole, wrong speed. If you hit the ball and it goes more than 18 inches, more than 1.5 feet past the hole from any distance, if it goes more than 1.5 feet past, that wasn't the right speed. So you missed it because of speed. If you hit it on the right line and the right speed, or on your intended line at the right speed, and it didn't go in, well, that was a miss because you misread the green. So what I want you to do is put on your scorecard. If you hit the putt and it goes in, that's a check mark. If you missed it because of the green read, that's an R. If you missed it because you hit it the wrong speed, that's an S. And of course, if you missed it because you didn't start it on the line, you didn't hit your intended target line, that's an L. Key, you've got to know why you miss when you miss. Now think about what that does for you. Instantly, you know, if you see a pattern develop over 2 or 3 rounds of golf, you know why you missed. When you miss, you know what you need to work on. So here's what I want you to do. And by the way, this is an offer for personal help, individual help. Comment on this video, send me an email that says, hey, I'm struggling with this. This is my consistent miss. And I'll respond and reply back with help personalized for you that'll give you improvement on solving that problem so that you won't stink as a putter. And if we have consistent comments and that kind of thing, we'll use that to make new video and content that'll help you with those very struggles. Give that a check out. That ought to be worth a like, a subscribe, a share, and until next time, here's to you making more putts. My actual green read is this ball. But if you'll notice, these greens have just been sanded, which means it's going to break a little bit less. And the putt is uphill, which means it's going to break a little bit less. So now my green read is here. That's where I need to start that ball. All right. So what a lot of us do is we look at this putt and we underread it. And so what happens is, because we didn't read the green right, we start our stroke and we aim it here and we didn't give it enough break and we miss to this side. We underread this, we don't give it enough break, and we miss it to the low side. Now, our brain realizes that the task on this 10-footer is to roll the ball in the hole, and we try to do that. And so what happens over time is we develop a stroke bias. This putt breaks left to right. We've underread that, so we miss it to the low side. Well, my brain's trying to get the ball in the hole, so what happens is my brain develops a pull stroke where I'm pulling that. So come back to the putt. I was starting it here, and my brain knows that's a bad read because it misses here. I should have started it here to make it go in the hole. And so now what happens is, at impact, I start closing the face and pulling the ball. So I think I'm aiming here. I'm really pulling it here. And sometimes those actually go in. In this example, I should be aimed at the first ball right of the hole, but I'm misaligned, misread it, and aimed just outside the edge of the hole, and the putt misses. In this example, I set up on the right target line, hit the putt the right speed, and it goes dead in the middle. Here's an example of the stroke bias. I aim it at the wrong target, but pull it to the right target, and it goes in. And one last one done correctly.